Hey everyone, it's Tori and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. For today's video, we are setting up my bullet journal for January 2024. I'm sorry you're seeing this a little later than planned. This video is actually supposed to go up on Christmas Eve, but I was struggling to figure out a theme I wanted to do for January. I don't know if anybody else has a hard time picking out a January theme or if it's just me, but I finally settled on this cute, dreamy, whimsical dragon theme because 2024 is the year of the dragon according to the Chinese zodiac or Chinese calendar. But before we get into that setup, let's take a look at how December is going. Last month I did a holiday baking theme, which is these Hubman and Chub Girl stickers, and if you want to see that setup, I will have it linked in the cards for you to check out. And now let's get into the supplies for this plan with me. I used a variety of Tombow dual brush pens for this theme, and I wanted to go with a very cool toned color palette for January. I also used my favorite fine liners at the moment, which are these fine line pens from Ohuhu in sizes 01 and 05. We've got a couple other miscellaneous supplies over here. Now without further ado, let's hop into my cover page. Now you might be thinking, Tori, where is your journal? And that's a valid question. I did originally make a cover page in my journal and then completely ruined it by going back and recoloring my dragon a million times. And I just ended up covering the whole page completely with this page I'm drawing on now. I have a B5 size dock red notepad from Archer and Olive, and if you want to get anything from Archer and Olive, you can use my code CMCG10 for 10% off your order. I do earn a small commission if you use my code at no additional cost to you. You just get a discount and you get to support my channel, which is a win-win. But anyways, I cut this white paper to the size of my journal page, and I just penciled in this cute little dragon with some clouds and trees and stars all around. And I should mention that my inspiration for this theme came from Fable and Fawn on Pinterest. I'll have a picture on the screen over here, and I think the watercolor is definitely cuter than what I used with the tombows. But I will not be attempting to paint in my journal anytime soon, so water-based markers it is. I finished off this cover page with writing January with the bullet tip side of my black tombow, and now it's time to paste this page into my journal. You can see that the original cover was just too busy and unfinished, so I'm going to take my tombow tape runner and tape the edges of the new page so that it lines up perfectly, and it's like you never even knew how badly I messed up. You can also see a sneak peek of my dashboard spread on the left side, which we're actually getting into now, and I'm making this layout a little different than last year's dashboards. Please ignore my cover page. This was before my brain spiraled out of control and colored the whole thing black at first. For my dashboard this year, I really wanted this spread to double as my monthly spread and dashboard. So I've got a vertical monthly spread in the left-hand column, which I intentionally made very similar to my future log, so I can just carry all of the events over each month. And then in the right column, I have 4 boxes for me to write what I want to focus on this month in my goal categories: read, crochet, cook, and other. Lastly, at the bottom, I have this big space for a master to-do list of general things I need to get done in January. With my dashboard complete, let's move on to my habit tracker. My habit tracker is going to be a place for me to keep track of lots of things this year, and I still plan to use it for productivity and making sure I do things that I typically don't remember the last time I did it, but also for goal tracking. So that's why I have 11 habit grids this month as opposed to my typical 8. In January, I will be tracking making my bed, walking, flossing, washing my hair, no snacking, crocheting, reading, journaling, and cooking. I have no idea if I'll be able to keep up with 11 habits because this is the most I've ever set out to track in my journal, but I'll have to keep you updated. Next is my gratitude log, which is a spread I'm not changing yet since last year. This 2-column layout has really been working for me to write one thing I'm grateful for each day, so if the spread isn't broken, I'm not going to try to fix it. After completing these 2 trackers, we're going to move on to my stress and health log, which I am carrying over from last year, but it looks slightly different this month. So I'm simplifying the stress and health log even more than I had it last year. On the top, I have the days listed 1 through 31 split into 2 columns that I'll be writing what I'm stressed about each day so I can go a little bit in more depth than my anxiety tracker on the right side. And then I have the exact same layout at the bottom for my health log, which is where I'll be writing any headaches, stomach aches, when I get my period, and any other out of the ordinary health things that come up each day. For my anxiety tracker, this is still going to be set up like your typical mood tracker because I think it's the most fun way to record something I very grudgingly live with every single day. I drew another dragon on the spread inspired by the Fable and Fawn Pinterest post, and I sprinkled around 31 stars to color in one each day based on how high my anxiety gets, which will be referenced on the key at the bottom right corner. By the way, I feel like all my monthly setups in 2023 were a little all over the place because I started out the first couple months in my typical doodly style, like I'm going for this January, but then I started hopping back and forth between doodly and scrapbooky collage-y style journaling, if that makes sense, for the rest of the year, just to test out different ways to make the same bujo spreads I've been making since I first started in 2019. This year in 2024, I really want to focus on sticking with my roots with this doodly bullet journal style that you're seeing today, specifically in my daily journal, which you're seeing here. And then getting into the more collage-y style each month in my reading and media journal, which is a video coming out soon, so make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss any of my upcoming journaling content. I'm really excited for this change and I hope that you are too. After off-roading a little bit here. I am just numbering all of the stars 1 through 31 so I can color in one each day. And my little key at the bottom, it might be a little bit hard to see. It says none, a little, a lot, and panic. And again, this is just based on how high my anxiety is each day, and that's how I'll be coloring in the stars. If you've been following me here for a while, this is where I'd typically be making my reading and content log, but I decided to get rid of those for this year because I wasn't really filling out my reading tracker, and I track my content already that I plan to post in my phone, so I found those spreads were just a waste of space for me. This spread, however, much to my dismay, I need to keep around and continue to fill out. During the holidays, I tend to spend so much money, and I like to have a spread like this to keep me in check. The top box is to track my bills, which I'll definitely need to make bigger once I move into my own apartment this year, but I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. The slightly larger box below bills is for income, and I made this bigger because with my new job, we get our paychecks weekly instead of bi-weekly, so I found I was running out of space between that and any money I'm receiving from YouTube and affiliates, which I feel so grateful to have, by the way. Thank you so much for letting this be my second job, and oh my god, I almost forgot, thank you for 10,000 subscribers, what the heck? I had a post about it on my community tab, but I feel like I need to say it again because we're literally almost at 11,000 subscribers as I'm talking right now, which is so wild. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart, and yes, I still plan to do a giveaway. My life has just been crazy busy at the moment, but keep an eye out for a giveaway announcement on my community tab on my YouTube channel. But getting back into this spread, I had 2 long columns in the middle for all my expenses that I'm spending money on throughout the month, and then on the far right side, I have a little box to record what's going on in the world, so like any news stories I feel noteworthy to look back on over the years when I'm flipping through my journals. I feel like I mentioned this in all my videos, but I just have no other place to put this, so it gets shoved in the corner of my expenses log always. But after decorating everything with some dragons, dragon eggs, stars, trees, and all that fun stuff, that is this page complete, and we're moving on to the last spread of my January setup, which is my monthly review. This spread is really not changing from last year aside from the bottom of the right page, which I'll get into in a bit. This is a spread for me to record everything I want to remember throughout the month, and I typically fill this out in my reset videos now. I'll actually be filling out my December monthly review in my New Year reset, which will be the video after this one, so keep an eye out for that. But I have many sections of the spread, so let's get into what they're all for. On the left side, I have a space which will be titled Remembering, and this is where I'll write all my favorite memories of January, and also tape in a Polaroid of a picture I took this month. Below that is just a simple box titled Loving for me to write any random things I've been loving throughout January that don't really fit into the categories I have on the right side of this spread. Over here, I have 3 TVs to write a favorite movie, show, and YouTube channel of the month. Below that, I have 3 books to record titles and star ratings of what I finished in January. And at the bottom of the right page I mentioned is where things look a little different compared to my 2023 monthly reviews. I tried to split this tiny space into 3 sections, The first is what I'm listening to, which is something that I've had down there before that hasn't changed, but I also wanted space to write a crochet project I finished this month, and also something I cooked as I'm trying to learn to cook in 2024. Those are represented with these boxes with yarn for crocheting and a spoon for cooking. Not sure if I'm in love with how this looks, but I'll do it for January. And after adding in just a couple decorations wherever they can fit, that is this January bullet journal setup complete, and now let's get into the final flip through. We've entered the final flip through portion of today's video, and I want to encourage you all to comment what your January theme is for this year, and also a dragon emoji if you made it to the end. I appreciate you all so much. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe while you're here. Also, don't forget to check out my bullet journal social medias. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!